Hello, and welcome to channel Ein Key, and I am your host, Voluntary. I want to take some time to talk about the situation in Virginia with regards to gun laws. After looking over the whole situation from as many angles as possible, I've come to one major conclusion that everyone should remember. As we have pundits proclaiming that the situation in Virginia may actually be the spark that lights the fire of civil war in the United States, we should remember that nothing has actually happened in Virginia. Instead, what we have is one side makes a proposal. The other side makes a counter-proposal, and it goes back and forth. If you do this, I will do that. Oh yeah? If you do that, then I will do this. Back and forth. The dominoes are being set up, each side adding another domino, and both sides are daring the other to actually tip over the first domino. You do it. No, you do it. Alright, now that we have covered that nothing has actually happened, let's go over what is maybe going to happen. The proposals and counter-proposals. It started when the state government of Virginia, in the state legislature, proposed incredibly harsh gun control legislation. Note, this legislation hasn't passed yet. The severity of the proposal is what caused the reaction, and it was very harsh. It was so harsh that instead of merely having intensive lobbying efforts to counter it, the counties started declaring themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries. In a way, it's very clever. Given all the sanctuary cities, counties, and states popping up in protest of United States immigration policy, it should, in theory, be difficult for the anti-gun radicals to argue against this. It even used the same method of sanctuary, declaring that sheriffs will not cooperate with higher levels of government to enforce the laws in question. Given all that, would you expect the anti-gun radicals to accept this? Especially since those who support this legislation generally overlap with those who oppose current immigration policy? Of course you wouldn't accept it. That would be expecting consistent implementation of underlying ideas. That argument was intended just for that one instance and that one purpose, as are most of the arguments put forward by the two parties. There were actually a few responses. The Virginia Attorney General issued a statement saying that sanctuary county resolutions had no legal power behind them and that the laws would still be enforced. Still, there might be sheriffs who would abide by local law instead of state law, so legislators in Virginia upped the ante, adding the next domino by proposing that sheriffs who don't enforce the law can be fired and prosecuted, proposing cutting off funds to sanctuary counties, and even proposing calling out the National Guard to enforce these laws in areas where the sheriffs won't. Reporters asked the Virginia National Guard for comment, and they basically said, "It's not even a law yet, so no comment." Pretty smart. they don't want to get in the middle of this. In addition to sanctuary counties, some sheriffs upped the ante even further. One declared he would deputize all gun owners in his jurisdiction, making gun ownership legal under the proposed legislation. There's always a law enforcement exception. So just make everyone law enforcement and everyone gets the law enforcement exception. Meanwhile, citizen militias are forming and law enforcement officials are joining the militias. So now the governor is calling for a new bill that will allocate additional funding to enforce the other bill and to create a task force to enforce the other bill. Still, it is only a bill. It is quite possible that there will be other escalations of threats and proposals. Still, at this time, they are nothing more than adding more dominoes to the line until either someone backs down or someone knocks down the first domino. Could this be the spark on the barrel of gunpowder that is the political situation in the United States? Quite possibly. It could happen. And as the two sides are continuing to stare each other down, the odds of one side actually setting it off go up. This could, in theory, back down if a court were to rule on either the gun law in question or on the sanctuary county status. But until the law actually passes, neither side in this dispute has any standing to file such a case. You can't sue over a law that doesn't exist, and you can't sue over defying a law that doesn't exist. My guess is that it won't actually pass or will be withdrawn until and unless both sides have gotten the measure of the situation and decided whether it is worth it or not. The problem will be if they both decide it is worth it. Then it could be as messy as pundits are currently saying it already is. Thank you for watching. We're now in the double digits for subscribers, and hopefully we will only keep growing. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe to help my channel grow.